Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I will be bringing you guys along for the week as I show you how much I realistically read in a week. Today is Tuesday. I'm really hoping that this challenges me to meet my June reading goal. I started a little reading tracker page, and on that page, I put down a goal of 5. And for those of you that read a lot, you might just be like, oh wow, that's honestly a really small goal. But for me, as someone that reads maybe 1 book a month if I'm lucky, 5 is quite a big challenge for me. It's so crazy because I used to be an avid book reader, then somewhere along the way I got really busy and I found interest in other things and I kind of stopped reading as much. So I'm hoping that this will get me back into reading. So far I've read 1 book this month, which is The Cruel Prince, and I'm making my way through this book right here, The Atlas 6. This is the book that I'll be reading today. I'm already 74 pages in, so I'm very excited. I'm loving the book so far. I love any book that's like more character focused than plot focused. It is a fantasy book about a secret society and the very talented individuals that are trying to find their way and to earn their place in this very prestigious society. These characters all have some form of magical abilities as well. Telepathy, I'm having like a brain fart moment. I swear I'll read a book and then everything about that book will like leave my head. They all have magical abilities. That's all you need to know. I'm going to try to keep this vlog as spoiler free as possible. This book is pulling me out of a reading slump, so I'm very excited to read this book. It's been a while since I've actually felt excited and really interested in wanting to like read. It may be a little bit premature for me to be saying this already, but I almost want to recommend this book to you guys, although I'm gonna hold off on saying that just because I'm not even halfway through this book quite yet. I'm now on page 102. I am really enjoying this book, but one thing that I will say about this book is that it's one of those books that requires all of your brain cells to be working at once. I like the fact that it's a detailed book because I haven't read a book this fleshed out in a while. I think I've been reading too many YA books. I like all of the characters equally, and that typically doesn't really happen with me. I tend to only be interested in like 1 or 2 characters from a book, but this one has me kind of to like every single character and wanting to know more and like how these different dynamics are going to work out together, because all these different characters are being put together in like very close proximity while they're also having to basically best each other. They have to work together in order to figure out what the heck is going on in this society that they were invited to. I'm still very early on in the book, so not much has happened, but there's already like an action scene. There's this love-hate relationship that's going on between 2 of the characters that I am kind of here for. I typically don't really care too much for romances these days, but for some reason the chemistry between these 2 characters, like, I'm here for it. I think I'm done reading for today. I'm gonna pick up again tomorrow. Yeah, I didn't read as much as I would have wanted to, but that's okay because my head is so mushy today. Like, I don't know what it is, but my brain is so soft. I started on page 76. I'm ending at 102. How many pages is that? Can't do math. I wrote 26 pages. I know that doesn't seem like a lot. The text is small and the pages are large, so please keep that in mind. I feel like I'm making an excuse for myself, but truly, so far what I've read so far, very good. Side note, I need you guys to look at this little kitty figurine that my friend gave to me. This is not the cutest thing you've ever seen. It's the next day with my boyfriend. We're heading to a cafe right now to do work. Well, he'll be doing work. I will be reading. I have my book here with me. I'm super excited to read a lot more today, hopefully.
Sorry.
We're literally in the middle of a heat wave. I'm sweating already. Are you sweating right now?
No,
I'm literally sweating.
we're in an AC car.
I know, I'm sweating already. Let me check the temperature. Look at the weather forecast for this entire week. It's insane. Later in the day, and we just went to the Asian grocery store to pick up some cold noodles. We decided to also get ice cream.
Kaido soft serve or something. Watermelon. I'll eat this.
This is really good. Whoa. Wait.
How do I eat this?
Is it good? Do you like it?
It's okay.
It reminds me of like those fruit ice cream thingies. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, the ones where they're in a fruit?
Yeah.
I've never had one.
It tastes kind of like that. It's more like gelato. Or not like gelato. It's more like sorbet. Sorbet. Hi everyone, it's a new day. As you can see, what I'm holding here is a mic. It was about time that I upgraded my mic setup. I realized that I absolutely needed to do this after watching my last vlog and realizing, oh my goodness, the sound quality is terrible. I cannot subject you guys to this. I've also realized that I've been straining my voice a lot these days and I really need to be quieter because I feel like my throat has been very irritated from not only just being very sick, but just abusing my vocal cords essentially. So I want to be more mindful of it and realize that like I feel like I get my voice at like the fullest capacity when I speak lower. I don't know, my vocal range, I'm not a loud person at all. I just need to be more mindful of that. And I feel like in the past, I always used to just try to like really stress on my vocal cords in order to like speak up and stuff. Anyways, let's talk about this book. I can proudly say that I have read the most that I've ever read in comparison to the past 2 days, which makes me so happy because I was really beating myself up for the fact that I did not read as much as I would have liked. Today, I spent a dedicated 2 hours to reading as much as I could. Now I am on page 264, a little bit past the halfway mark of this book, which is really exciting. So many thoughts to share with you guys on this book already. First of all, I can safely say that this author knows what she's doing. Olivia, you have captured my heart with your writing because the way that she goes about writing emotions in this book, it's almost like, okay, you definitely had to have had experienced these emotions firsthand yourself in order to really bring these emotions to life and make it so relatable in text. There's so many emotions in this book that are very relatable to me as someone that's experienced them, and while reading them I was like, there's no way that you have written this without fully experiencing this yourself. Like there's just no way. If she hasn't, then wow, give her all the awards because she's just so good at what she does. I'm so invested in all of these characters in this book, which is so rare for me because first of all, I love a character driven book. If I like the characters, it doesn't matter whatever you're doing, right? Like the plot can be boring as hell, but if I like the characters, I'm gonna stick through it because it's gonna be interesting to me. It's good that the characters are interesting because I feel like the plot itself is a little bit slow, and to be honest, I'm not really too sure if the plot fully exists. At some parts, I feel like I'm just reading characters interact with each other. I like this book a lot because it is so morally gray. It's so dark. It's so like sultry and just, I love all the vibes of this book. I feel like the best way that I can describe the aesthetic of this book would be like all of those like dark aesthetic pictures that you see on Pinterest, or like, you know, when you see those TikToks where someone just turns the exposure all the way down, like that's where I'm picturing myself at. Another thing that I really appreciate about this book is the fact that there's surprises being thrown in your face every couple of seconds. Like something will be revealed about the characters and you're just like, it pulls at your heartstrings, and it like makes you realize like all of these characters are like intrinsically very good people, even though they do very questionable things sometimes. But then it's just like, that's what makes them so interesting and intriguing. Like if they were just a good or bad character, it's like, that's boring, that's bland, I don't need that anymore. I like this book a lot. It's been so long since I've read a book that made me actually like physically react to it, you know what I mean? It makes me like a little giddy. It makes me want to like literally be like this because I'm so shocked at what's like unfolding in front of me. I just really like it. I don't know. Okay, I really want to finish this book by tomorrow. If I want to meet my goal of 5 books this month, I gotta pick up my pace a little bit. I will see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully we finish this. Hi everyone, it is Monday. On Friday, I ended up finishing the Atlas 6. So good. I give this 4 out of 5 stars. Now, the reason why it's not a full 5 stars is because I didn't cry. I feel like the books that I'm more inclined to give like a complete full 5 stars are the ones that make me feel a lot of emotions. And don't get me wrong, like this made me feel a lot of different things, but it definitely didn't invoke that sort of like inner feeling that was like, oh my god, this book is like life-changing. I still very much enjoyed it, and I feel like this was exactly what I needed after reading 2 books that I felt like were just okay. Over the weekend, I spent it with my boyfriend. I didn't do a lot of reading. For Monday, which is today, I really wanted to start a new book. You can see here that I put down 5 books. You can see that I put down the Atlas 6 here, so I still have 3 more books to go until I reach my goal for this month. Today, I decided to start reading 6 Crimson Cranes. I'm already 100 pages in. It's a very light book to get through, which is kind of like a good change of pace, honestly. After reading the Atlas 6, I was like, okay, I want to go for a lighter book. This book itself was quite heavy, so I was like, okay, let's get a book with bigger text, something that I could fly through. This book is about a princess named Shiori who is about to be betrothed. So the book kind of starts off with her in the middle of that, but then things happen, she gets distracted. The secret that she's hiding is that she has magical abilities, but the thing is, it's frowned upon here to have magical powers, so she's not supposed to tell anyone. She has the ability to bring things to life, one of which is like a little paper crane who is her friend because she's a pretty lonely girl. She ends up discovering that her stepmother is an evil demon lady, so she curses her 6 brothers and turns them into cranes. Because Shiori was the one to witness her turning into like a demon, she doesn't want her to tell anyone, so she curses Shiori, sends her off to the middle of like nowhere to some random village, and basically says that if you tell anyone of what has happened to your brothers, they will die, meaning that she cannot say a single word because for each word that she says, one brother dies. She's essentially mute. On top of that, she has to wear a bowl on top of her head, like a literal wooden bowl to cover her face. Overall, I feel like the plot itself is very entertaining. I feel like I don't read a lot of books, or I haven't read any books where the main character is mute or has like any sort of curse on them, so I think that in itself is very interesting to me. Like me personally, I haven't really read a lot of books where the main character is mute or has like a curse put on them to this level, so I think it's very interesting. I am intrigued to see how the story unfolds and how she will get around to saving her brothers and what she'll do to make her way, what she'll do in order to utilize the fact, or what she'll do in order to work around the fact that she can't really talk. So I'm gonna keep on reading. I've read 100 more pages of this. I'm like halfway through the book now, and I will say that this plot is now leveling out. I feel like it was getting really interesting, like there was sort of a buildup, and now we're plateauing a little bit. I think the plot is still interesting enough for me to keep on reading. I don't think I'm gonna DNF this book just because it is a very fast and light read. I've kind of gotten to the part of the book where I think the potential love interest has been introduced, but at the same time, I don't even know if romance is gonna be like major plot point in this book. I'm kind of hoping that it won't be, just because I don't really see it adding too much to the book. One thing that I did learn about this plot is that, you know how I mentioned earlier on with the curse, she isn't able to speak, otherwise like her brothers will die. Another thing that they mentioned in the book is that like she can't signal to other people information about herself or like write out information about herself, otherwise all that stuff will turn into like the symbol of a snake, which I thought was really interesting. It makes me think like, okay, how's this girl gonna like fix this curse, because she really is limited in so many ways. I have to tell you guys about this journal. I've had this Leuchtturm 1917 journal for a while. They kindly gifted it to me alongside this pen that I have with this pen holder that they also gave to me as well. I was trying to figure out for the longest time, what can I do with this journal, because it's been empty. I figured, you know what, I actually miss taking actual notes. I was like, why not just turn this into a book journal? Also, look away if you plan on reading this book because there's gonna be spoilers. I figured that I would take down notes while I was reading. I really like this journal, I just didn't know what to do with it. I love a journal that's like very flexible. The spine is just practically non-existent. I hate when there's like a hard spine because it just makes it like very uncomfortable to like write with. I don't know. I wanted to show you guys that because y'all know how much I love journaling. Hi everyone, it is Tuesday again, so time for the wrap up. Yesterday night I read 96 more pages of this book, so currently I'm at 296 pages. This book, since I started on page 74, I read, hold on, I have the notes over on my laptop. I read 299 pages of the Atlas 6, so in total I have read 595 pages in a week. Not bad. I feel like that's literally so much more than I typically read. This may be a small goal for other people, but for me, this is huge. I do have more thoughts on this book. I don't really have that much experience with reading a lot of like East Asian inspired fantasy books. My only experience would be reading The Poppy Wars and this book right here called Forest of a Thousand Lanterns. I had read this book a couple years ago and I actually gave this 4 out of 5 stars. Overall, it was very, very entertaining. This is a East Asian inspired fantasy retelling of the Evil Queen. So the premise is like already super cool and interesting. The actual fantasy part of the book, it feels a little unimaginative to me. I just feel like there could be more with that. I'm enjoying it. I'm gonna keep on reading it. Enough thoughts about this. You guys know how I feel about this book, like I've been saying throughout this week. I will 100% recommend this book. Final thoughts. This is 4 out of 5 stars and this is to be determined, but I'm already feeling like this is going to be a 2 or 3 out of 5 stars. That is basically it for this reading vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please let me know down in the comments what you guys are reading, how many pages you typically read in a week. I would love, love, love to know. And if you have any East Asian fantasy books that you would recommend, because I feel like I do really like the genre. It's just that I haven't read too many good ones and I just don't even know where to begin. But I do love a good fantasy book and I feel like I've been really, really missing reading like fantasy romance books in particular. So let me know if you guys enjoyed this vlog, if you want to see more. I feel like I'm just in a bookish mood, so you'll definitely be seeing more bookish content from me. Bye guys, hope to see you in the next one.